To CGTN special program on the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between China and Malaysia. I'm Tang Bo. Today's program is jointly brought to you by the Information Office of Fujian Provincial People's Government, Fujian International Communication Center, and my friend Liana from Bernama TV, the Malaysian National TV News Agency.
Hello everyone.
Yes, it is indeed with a profound pleasure and a deep sense of historical significance that we convene today's roundtable discussions here in Wuling Village in southern China's Fujian province. So, Liana, what's so special about this place?
Yes, a little background about Wuling Village is known for its profound historical that links with Southeast Asia. Many Chinese Malaysians can trace their ancestral roots back to this region, making it this living testament to the centuries-old people-to-people ties that underpin our modern role, in friendship.
Yes, modern-day friendship is something we're going to touch upon during today's discussions. And this year marks the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic ties between China and Malaysia, and the auspicious occasion calls for a profound reflection and a forward-looking dialogue, touching upon what achievement the two countries had achieved over the past 5 decades and what new opportunities lie ahead for these two countries. And to answer these questions, we have with us today 3 distinguished guests. They are?
Yes, we are honored to have Professor Zheng He, which is Vice Dean of Research School for Southeast Asian Studies at Xiamen University. Welcome, Professor.
And Mr. Zheng He, who is Quanzhou City Culture Promotion Ambassador.
And
Hello.
also we have Professor Shah Johan bin Shah Rizwan, Associate Professor at Huaqiao University, College of Music and Dance.
Welcome you all.
Yes, and in Malaysia we call it Selamat Datang.
Selamat datang.
Well, that's very interesting. Okay, the very first question goes to Professor Johan, that you have been living and working in China for almost 8 years. So I want to know that what's your general idea of the interaction between China and Malaysia in terms of people-to-people exchange and, of course, education cooperation?
Okay. First of all, I feel very lucky and very happy to work here in China, and what we offer in our school here in Huaqiao University, we have like an internship program so for our master students to go to Malaysia and work with the Malaysian schools there, and that way they can actually exchange their culture and learn new culture as well there.
I think we have seen an increasing number of visits from both sides. I think that has a lot to do with the visa-free policies and measures that China made with many ASEAN countries, including Malaysia. And some reports says that it has already triggered investment and trade boosts with Malaysia. So talking about trade and investment, Professor Zhang, what do you think are the key development stages that China and Malaysia economic relations have gone through over the past 5 decades?
Malaysia was the first ASEAN country to establish the ties with China, and I could say that's a very brave and very forward-looking. And then if you look the days that after that, the trade, in particular the economic cooperation, have actually played a very important role in compromising the bilateral relations. Well, at the early days, we see there's a great number of good and commodities being exchanged between two countries. But right now, I think one of the new changes that happened recently is that there is an increasing share of parts and components in total bilateral trade. Of course, I think that is a very good indication of the two countries have actually catched up very quickly in global value chain and become a very essential component for the whole regional production network. Another new trend that is happening, in particular after the 2013 when the Belt and Road Initiative was introduced, we see there is an increasing trend of Chinese FDI investing in Malaysia. So right now you can see there's a huge infrastructure that is happening on ground. There's a railing that is linking the west and coast east coast of Malaysia Peninsula. And then if you look at the skyline of Kuala Lumpur, you would also probably say the presence of the Chinese construction company. So I think that is just 2 cases among all this Chinese FDI presence in Malaysia.
As we all know, that Malaysia is China's second largest trading partner and also largest source of imports of ASEAN. And China has remained Malaysia's largest trading partner for 15 consecutive years. What are the main driving force behind such achievements?
If you look at the economic cooperation, and then this word must come out, complementary nature of the bilateral trade, and it become really evident in the past few decades. When you're talking about the E&E sector, electronic and electrical sector in Malaysia, actually I think China is one of the biggest consumers for the chips that being assembled and tested in Malaysia. That is just one example to illustrate that. But lastly, which I think which is the most importantly, is a people-to-people tie. Just now you mentioned that we were sitting here in Wulin village in Quanzhou, where a lot of Malaysian Chinese actually coming, their ancestors coming from these regions. I think that is we have a common history as a culture practice as well. And when you talk about Fujian, I think one of the very important cultural practice is Song Wang Chuan. I'm not sure whether Liana, you heard about it.
No, I'm not.
Wang Chuan, if you translate directly, means kingship. Okay. And then Fujian province, together with Malacca state in Malaysia, have actually applied for UNESCO by just sharing the cultural heritage of this kingship ceremony. So I think that signifies a common memory and respect to the ocean.
Just now, Professor Zhang just walked us through many complementary advantages from like the EV sector to free trade agreement and to people-to-people exchange. Right. So I was wondering if there was a very strong connection in the past. So Mr. Zheng, how do you look into the relations between China and Malaysia in the past?
In the past, I think that because of the trade, and especially such as, because China is very special, it's very similar to Georgetown and Malacca. They were both port cities, and actually not just the Changzhou, but also the whole Minnan area was actually conducting a lot of exchanges with Southeast Asian countries and regions, including Malaysia, for sure. And we had the past, and also during the Ming Dynasty, the Admiral Zheng He also was conducted one of his visits in Malacca as well. So there were many historical exchanges between the two countries. And especially a lot of spices grown in Malaysia were brought here, and a lot of traditions such as the gui diao, a lot of food, especially gui diao is a kind of a fried noodle. Yeah, that's the original from here. But also a lot of spices were brought by these sellers and merchants and being added into local cuisines in Quanzhou. So we always take some of the, such as the beef, the stewed beef here, specifically with the ingredient curry, and that's rarely seen in other places. But because we had this original, we had this connection with the Southeast Asian countries, and we brought in a lot of spices for the trade, because China in the past was shipping out porcelains and silk and tea, but we imported a lot of pearls, jewelries, and spices into China. And also, I think, speaking of the past was a very fundamental, solid foundation to build on today's all the new relationships. And we look to the past, and actually, the reason we look back is that we would like to look forward. Correct. And I think the future is very promising for me because I'm in the culture and tourism sector. So I more focused in the culture and tourism as perspectives. Since now there are free visa policies for both countries, and there would be now there are so many direct flights from Malaysia to China, Chinese cities, and specifically here, we have a lot of direct flights to the capital and also to Penang and other cities. I can see specifically people would be, the connectivity between the two peoples would be very much enhanced. So a lot of potentials and possibilities can happen during this people-to-people exchanges.
Perhaps I could question to Mr. Zheng, as a Quanzhou city's promotion ambassador, if you are asked to use one word to describe the value and status of Quanzhou, am I pronouncing it right?
Quanzhou.
What would it be and why?
Yeah, I think it would be diversity. Diversity because the Quanzhou used to be an emporium of the world, a trading hub. So a lot of people came in and going out. So everywhere, just like the Malacca, the city of Malacca, as long as there are people coming in and out and doing all kind of trade, and there would be diversified cultures. Also, diversity comes usually with openness and inclusiveness.
Correct.
So these three words actually kind of get one buy two for free.
Yeah. How about you, Professor Johan? You've been staying in China like what, 8 years?
8 years already.
8 years
Yes.
in Xiamen. How do you? What would one word to describe Xiamen?
One word, like you mentioned diversity, but I will say diverse amount of tea because yes, I'm a coffee drinker, but in Fujian tea is just a whole new level. This is different.
Okay.
Yeah.
You, Professor?
Malaysia is a multi-cultural and multi-ethnic country, and that is very important. No matter what types of religion you have, what type of life that you live, everybody are happy with each other.
Correct.
I think that is the most important part, inclusive.
Indeed, and that actually echoes with what China has been doing right now to promote inclusiveness and openness. And if you ask me one word to describe the relations, I would use, not trying to show off, but a cosmopolitanism in a way that it to me, like this is like a universal stage that all people can come over here to visit, to stay, and to learn, and to prosper. So this is what I'm thinking about, one word description.
You want to know about me?
Yours?
My first time here in China. Well, for me, my personal view, POV, China is really, really nice, really beautiful. I don't have one word, but I have so many words. So many words for China because the people are so nice. I mean, no offense, but I hope I can eat here. I can taste all of your foods. But yeah, as you can see, I'm the one who's wearing a scarf now. But it's okay. The people, the culture, I'm really in love with the culture. Your culture and how you preserve your heritage is so wonderful. It's so really, really touched my heart because in Malaysia, we do have lots of history as well as like we all know, Malacca keeps a lot of history. But you know, we are trying our best to be just like in China. What are you doing right now to preserve the history? I love it.
Yes.
See, so many.
There's one thing as Muslim, as you are Muslim, I would like to recommend to you, if you have time. There's a mosque, which is also a World Heritage Site, which is called Qingjing Mosque. And that's the oldest mosque ever preserved now in China. The oldest one, not in anywhere else in China,
I see.
but the oldest mosque ever preserved and is still in very good condition.
Wow.
That's in Quanzhou.
Wow, I should go maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, from diversity to inclusiveness to cosmopolitanism and to you being nice. It's all it's all about communication, and that's a very important catalyst for boosting the bilateral ties.
Yes.
And also, I have to refer to Belt and Road Initiative and RCEP platform. That's another way, another version of promoting dialogue and communication. So my question goes to Professor Zhang, that with the further advancement of the Belt and Road Initiative and the RCEP platform, what are the major cooperative projects between China and Malaysia, and how have these projects been affecting the economic development of Malaysia?
If you're looking at the past decade in particular, I think a lot of things happened in Malaysia with the Chinese investment. You can see the infrastructure as well as real estate sectors, but I think the most promising sector still would be manufacturing. If you look at Malaysia's national aspirations, which has been specified very clear on the National Industrial Master Plan, that the country actually targeted several sectors, for example, E&E sector, semiconductor, of course, and then other like green technologies and green energy.
Yes.
Those things are actually what China can offer in terms of technology and managerial skill as well.
Yes.
So I think perhaps that is one front which, the manufacturing can actually see a lot of prosperity and possibility for the two countries to cooperate with each other. And then just now, Ms. Chang also mentioned about RCEP. I think that actually project a tremendous spectrum for the two countries to collaborate with each other. So China and Malaysia use, in the past, they did have a free trade agreement, but it's more like bilateral. Right now, I think one of the most outstanding feature for RCEP is a cumulative rule of origins. So right now you have a bigger platform where China and Malaysia can actually play a role and then to best use their competitive advantage. So all this, no matter it's in RCEP or BNR, I think those also give another momentum for the two countries to prosper in terms of economic cooperation.
But Professor, in the context of intensified competition between major powers and geopolitical tensions, right? What common challenges do China-Malaysia economic relations need to address?
Well, we can't deny there are some problems in terms of a geopolitical competition, and there are superpowers struggling in the region as well. So I think the common challenges is sometimes the economic cooperation has been over-politicized. And if you look at Malaysia's successful story, I think it's always being good for being an open economy, very friendly to the foreign investors. Malaysia actually made his success by doing that. So we should actually keep this tremendous trajectory in the futures and try to minimize the political elements and let economic issue be economic.
Perhaps I would like to go to Professor Johan. We already covered about the trade, we already covered about culture. How about education now? Okay. What suggestions or expectations do you have for further enhancing the level of educational cooperation between the two countries, especially in terms of jointly building up academic disciplines and conducting scientific research?
For scientific research and in music itself, like what we're doing here in our in Hwa Chong University, we do productions like opera and musical productions every semester.
Okay.
And when we do these productions, we have students from all over, the foreign Chinese students that comes to our school, and we manage to share and exchange our culture while studying about other cultures. Because in opera we studied about Western cultures. In Figaro we do the Italian or the base in Spain itself. Yeah, but the whole language is in Italian, so we have to study many other foreign language also, while sharing our own culture with each other. And this practice, I believe, it's is very important for all of us because it makes us more versatile and more easily, to absorb other cultures. So I wish that we can have more of these opportunities to work together, cooperation, to do projects for education itself. We are doing something about it, like the internship program. We used to have the exchange program, but we're trying to get that back also. But currently, we are facing this problem that we only can afford to send the students there for half a semester because of the busy scheduling and the program itself, the master's program. So I hope that it could be longer and it would give more opportunities for both the Malaysian and the Chinese students to really get to know each other's culture even more, even deeper.
Okay, and I know that 5 years ago, at the event celebrating the 45th anniversary of the bilateral ties at China University, you performed this song called China-Malaysia, which brought people closer to Malaysian culture. So on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the bilateral ties, what kind of music that you're gonna bring to us?
What kind of music?
What songs?
Yes, around that time also we did perform another piece, a newly composed piece, which I arranged it for our students to perform in China University itself. And this piece is called 左肩, bahu kiri, left shoulder.
Left shoulder.
Left.
And this song shows the friendship and how China and Malaysia could rely on each other when facing problems. The song lyrics goes like this when I translate it, because the song is in Chinese. So the English translation goes like this: that we climb mountains together. No matter how far apart we are always neighbors. And we witness the same sky, the same clouds. We even experience the same wind, the same rain, and even storms.
Indeed.
And but no matter what, we will always do it together. We will always witness all of them together. And the song is called like left shoulder. Is because the right shoulder is used to protect your friend who is holding onto your left shoulder from the wind and the rain and even the storm. So this is how this is why I chose this song, because it's a beautiful song that portrays the friendship and the connection between both China and Malaysia.
Beautiful.
Hold my shoulder. Let us protect you.
Left shoulder. Left shoulder.
Hard.
Yeah, close too hard. Yeah, I would love to, together with you guys, climb the mountain and feel the wind and hear the song.
Let's hear the song. We would like to hear the song.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, as we wrap up this insightful roundtable discussions, it is with heart full of optimism and minds brimming with new perspectives. We explore the vast landscape of economic cooperation between the two countries, and we looked into the future opportunities.
Yes, indeed. And our discussions today have underscored the importance of continued dialogue, understanding, and collaboration in fostering an even stronger partnership for the decades ahead.
And thanks again for your participation, thank you for staying with us. Stay tuned. Bye for now.
Selamat tinggal.
Selamat tinggal.
Terima kasih.
南海洋的眺望可歌可泣，海战线交汇着彼此凝聚，坐着钟却又为你安我心，相伴一生铁血情激丹青。
天快亮，还未奔赴的呼吸，阻挡不了你我足迹，彻夜未舍的言语。
海浪来带我去，邮件为你挡风雨，
昨天留给你南海洋的眺望可歌可泣，海岸线交汇着彼此凝聚。
坐着钟却又为你安我心，
相伴一生铁血情激丹青。
天快亮，雨还未平复的呼吸，阻挡不了你我足迹，彻夜未舍的言语。海浪来
带我去，
邮件为你挡风雨。天快亮，雨还未平复的呼吸，阻挡不了你我足迹，彻夜未舍的言语。
海浪来，
海浪来